Jeremy Vine here on The Jeremy Vine Show. Steve Wright in the afternoon on at 2. Meanwhile, it sounded like a good idea when it was set up last year. We are talking about Britain's very own National Sperm Bank. It's all gone quiet. The aim was to encourage more men to become sperm donors because there was a serious shortage of donors. Childless couples who struggled to have a baby often had to rely on sperm imported from Denmark or the USA. But here's the problem. Nearly 1 year after the UK's sperm bank opened with that big fanfare, it only has 9 registered donors. The chief executive, Laura Vitjens, wants to start an advertising campaign to boost the numbers from 9 to 1,000. She thinks the bank needs to change its message a bit, appeal to male generosity and show how you can help, if you're a man, help others to start a family. She would also like the adverts to portray sperm donation as a macho activity because, she says, Denmark has many more donors as they use messages like Viking invasion and Danish exports beer, Lego and sperm. Could we learn from Denmark and give thousands of couples here the chance to have a baby made from British sperm? Is it something to aim for? Does sperm donation need to have a more blokish image here, or would that only encourage the wrong kind of men to sign up? I'm pleased to say we actually have Laura Vitjens on the line in Guildford, Chief Executive of the National Sperm Bank. And I suppose we start by saying, why only 9?
Do you know what I would say? Wow, we have got as many as 9 donors. Because let's put it in perspective. When we put a plan to the Department of Health to have a national approach, what we're trying to do is prove that an existing established NHS clinic at Birmingham Women Hospital could work together with a charity like ours to set up something that over time would solve the crisis. That's why our funding was only 77k. It's not like we thought that we're going to solve the crisis in 1 year. So to have 9 donors at this stage, when we said we're going to have 15 by the end of the year, is actually pretty good going. That's not to say, because I know what you're going to say, you know, are we going to solve the national crisis? No, we're not.
No, I was going to actually ask whether you'd met the 9.
No, I haven't, but I tell you what I would do. I would thank them from the bottom of my heart on behalf of all these patients, because these 9 donors will be able to provide for 180 treatments, make 90 families, and these are 90 families that otherwise, without their generosity, would not exist. And that goes back to the question of the point you made. I want to change the perception of sperm donation. I would like men to realize what they're doing is a wonderful, selfless thing, and that we need more ordinary men doing extraordinary things and get out of their way to help people happy, to make them happy and create families.
And in terms of the mechanics of it, you get, what is it, £35 per donation?
You get £35 per visit, and this is the thing. This is what makes it complicated. It's not a matter of going into a clinic once, do your bit and walk out and hey ho. You actually need to go to a clinic twice a week for a period of 3 to 4 months, and at the end of it, after 6 months, you have another blood test. So this is a really tough commitment, and I think that's what many people and most men do not realize, and that's one of the reasons why recruiting donors is not just having shouty, screaming posters, prove your manlyhood. It's a lot more involved than that.
And it's also, I guess there may be some reservations. People now think that if they give sperm, the person born as a result has a legal right to track them down. So they will get a knock at the front door 18 years later.
It's absolutely true that donors are not anonymous, so there is a chance that donor-conceived people may want to contact them from the age of 18. But I think it's very important to realize this is not a knock on the door. Hi, Daddy. This is about donor-conceived people wanting to find out where their curly hair comes from or their musical talent. And in no way are the donors legally or financially responsible for the donor conceived. And
but
what
morally,
we have found,
you might find if there was a knock on the door and it's an 18-year-old who needs money for university.
Well, no, I mean that's completely covered. If you donate it via a clinic, you will never be financially responsible. But absolutely, there is a moral duty there, and that's part of why donors are counseled, make them aware that whilst it's not 100% guaranteed that somebody may want to find out who you are, there might well be a chance that they want to find out a bit more about yourself. And you need to be open for that, and that makes it a more complicated process, absolutely. But what we have seen is since the change in law, which was in 2005, the numbers have increased. So it's absolutely true that there will be men who are put off by this, and good to them, that's their prerogative. But there are actually plenty of men, not enough admittedly, but more men than used to be, who come forward and who are happy with that.
Is there something as well, a kind of atmosphere around it in this country that's not helpful? I'm just remembering that when I was at college, there was a fellow student who used to give a lot of sperm, and it became a big joke, and then his girlfriends all started complaining to him that why would anyone marry you because you're going to have 85 children, and it all got a bit difficult for him, actually.
It's true that one of the things we need to change is the perception about sperm donation. I was an egg donor, and when I say that, people think, wow, what a great thing to do. Well, sperm donors, they need to explain why in the lunch break, or they actually went to a clinic and had the act of donation. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It involves a sexual act, and it involves some supportive adult material. And for some people, and English people in particular, that's sometimes too much to handle. But that's what we want to do. So, it's not about the act of donation. It's not about that 10 minutes or whatever it takes. It is about creating a lot of happiness for a lot of people and creating life. And we should focus on what it does, not the process itself.
Thank you, Laura. See you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura.